everybody, and welcome back to another educational seminar on SCP. And for the couple new people, I'm Dr. Bob, coming at you live from Site 66, located here in majestic, breathtaking, patriotic Alabama. To all my friends and followers, Merry Christmas. And to all you dipshits who think the war on Christmas is a real thing, Happy Holidays. I know 2020 has been like a bad dream. America, greatest country in the... Oh, excuse me. I think those burritos I had for lunch are catching up with me. Okay, now anyway. Today we're here to talk about an exceptionally disturbing little SCP. I'm talking about none other than Walt Disney's cryogenically frozen head, otherwise known as SCP-2805. Object Class: Euclid. And yes, indeedly diddly, we are talking about the genuine article here. SCP-2805 is the real severed head of American industrialist Walt Disney. It is held in suspended animation within a cryonic freezer. Attached to the freezer are two rotary telephones, circa 1966. On the base of the cryonic device, the words Siberian Solutions from the Onari Collective have been embossed. However, analysis of the cryonic device have been hampered by the fragility of the device and the effect SCP-2805 has on personnel who look at it. Some real spooky shit happens. If a human subject physically views SCP-2805, they will receive a phone call within 24 hours. The individual making the call claims to be none other than Uncle Walt himself. Then, the caller will begin to talk at length to the subject about their hopes for the future, their desires, and the Epcot portion of the Walt Disney World Amusement Park. Digital analysis has confirmed that the voice on the other end of the line sounds 100% identical to recordings of Walt Disney. Now, I'm sure you're wondering if we ever tried tracing the phone calls. Why, yes, you silly Billy. Of course we have. And every time we do, the call ends up tracing back to various locations owned by the Disney Corporation. Occasionally, during these calls, unidentified individuals can be heard demanding to be allowed to speak to the subject. SCP-2805 will usually ignore them. But on occasion, it has asked the subject to remain on hold. During these times, a distinctly disturbing sound, described by subjects as frozen insects hitting glass, can be heard. And after a minute or two, SCP-2805 will resume the conversation, apologizing for delays, blaming unimaginative souls for the distraction. SCP-2805 was discovered on 9/18/1967, when several secretaries for executives within the Disney Corporation reported that they were getting calls from SCP-2805. After an executive member of the board of directors was called, he began to spend significant amounts of time with the original Epcot plans. And eventually, he began to petition strongly for fashioning the Epcot Park as an industrial center, similar to how Walt Disney had initially envisioned it. Foundation personnel intervened once the phenomena was recognized as legitimate, and SCP-2805 was discovered within the hidden cave of Pirates of the Caribbean. It was contained on 2/16/1968 and given the classification of Euclid. Special containment procedures are as follows. SCP-2805 is to be contained within a cryonic containment unit located within Site 77. No personnel are permitted to directly view SCP-2805 and must do all observation through closed-circuit cameras. Any Foundation employees who have worked on or around SCP-2805 and subsequently leave employment with the Foundation are to be monitored. Any former personnel who worked with SCP-2805 are to be prevented from taking up employment with the Walt Disney Company. Now, as we like to do here at Site-66, we're going to give you a first-hand example of the spooky-ass properties that Uncle Walt exhibits. So, coming up is an interview conducted by a person that some of you probably have heard of, none other than Agent Smith himself. On 4/25/1968, SCP-2805 began calling Foundation personnel. Now, to give you a little background, SCP-2805 called Agent Smith while the latter was involved in interviewing SCP-2042. Familiar with SCP-2805's documentation, Agent Smith carried out an impromptu interview with SCP-2805. Begin log. Hello? Am I coming through? Yes, I can hear you. Who is this? My name is Walt. I'm terribly sorry for calling without any forewarning. Is this a bad time? No, please continue. Well, if you've got the time, I'd like to talk to you about a little project I've had in the works. I've got all the time in the world, sir. Oh, very good. I call it the, Florida Project. It's an experimental prototype for a future community. A place where the modern, hectic world wouldn't be a bother. A place where future technologies could be deployed and then out into the world. Unfortunately, I left my plans in the hands of people who did not share my vision. And, who is that? Marty. I hired him to do the newspaper, you know. And after my, illness, which I shall not go into here, he was placed in charge of the Florida Project. That's what I called it. But they couldn't do it. All my Imagineers, brilliant men all, but they couldn't do it. Couldn't do what, exactly? The vision. None of them grasped it. I had thought, with the film, it was quite explicit. But it did not come across to them. I wanted a community for tomorrow, but they gave me a World's Fair instead. Marty. He was a wonderful boy, but he got it wrong. I'm, sorry to hear that, sir. Is there anything I can do for you? Marty couldn't do it, but he's not my only recourse. Other people can. Maybe even you. Me? I had a great vision, you see. For a place to save the modern world from all the congestion and horrible crowded noisiness. I wanted a place for my grandchildren to grow up in. Do you see what I mean? Yes, but I don't think you've come to the right guy. Oh, but I have. How do you figure? Your organization, sir. I can't say with honesty that I understand everything you do, but you've got quite a bit of pull. And you're certainly a mile ahead of the technology sector. You can do it. I don't think I need you to help me. I have a delivery system for my message, built on the backs of the unimaginative dreams of parasites. I'm using them, you know, so that we can build a better tomorrow. Can you dream it? I don't know. If you can dream it, you can do it. End log. Well, there you have it, folks. the official security protocol, and a description of none other than Walt Disney's frozen head. Also, it should be noted that SCP-2805 is believed to be connected to none other than SCP-2028 and SCP-1498. But nothing concrete has come up yet. You know, here at Site-66, located here in beautiful Alabama, we strive to be a cut above the rest. And so, we've elected to introduce a whole new segment into our educational seminars. That being SCP Theories. Woo! Now, in this new section, we're going to introduce a whole new level of interactivity for y'all. This is where we postulate and theorize about SCPs based off of rumor, hearsay, and circumstantial evidence. Basically, we cover subjects that have not officially been confirmed by the Foundation. And if any of you fine people have any questions, things to add, or theories of your own, put it down in the comments, and we will cover them in upcoming videos. So, for today, we're going to speculate on what happens after someone receives a phone call from good old frozen, decapitated Uncle Walt. Now, as we already covered, any Foundation employees who have worked with Walt Disney's dome piece, either directly or indirectly, and then leave employment with the Foundation, are to be monitored for the rest of their lives, and prevented from ever taking up employment with the Disney Foundation. But the question is, why? Well, from what we can tell, anyone who talks with Uncle Walt seems to end up becoming obsessed with Disney, to the point where they will literally leave their current occupation and seek out employment with the Disney Corporation, even if they have to take a job that is significantly below their current pay grade. In one example, we have one Dr. David Groton. He was a radiologist at Foundation Site 72, located in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We'll skip the details on the how, but long story short, Dr. Groton received a phone call from none other than Mr. Disney himself on his office phone. Site security detected the anomalous phone call within moments of the doctor receiving it, and immediately intervened. Unfortunately, the damage had already been done. Over the course of the next several months, Dr. Groton became increasingly obsessed with the Disney Corporation, and subsequently took several paid vacations to Disney World, where he was observed spending nearly all of his time at the grounds of the Epcot Center. Friends and colleagues reported strange behavior from the doctor, and over the ensuing months, he would talk about the genius of Walt Disney and his vision for the Epcot Center with increasing frequency. Then finally, on April 20th, 1989, the good doctor resigned from the Foundation. He cut all personal ties with family and colleagues, and then took up employment with Disney. I should note that this is before the 0500 Council had decided that any former employees of the Foundation should absolutely be prevented from seeking out employment with the Disney Corporation or any of its affiliates. Now, this is where it gets insane. He took a job, get this, as a mascot. Now, I think it's worth mentioning that radiologists typically make around $300,000 a year, and Disney World mascots start at about $10 an hour. You will literally make more money as a demonetized YouTube content creator than you will by dressing up like Donald Duck. And now, more than 30 years later, the former Dr. Groton is still working the beat as a Mickey Mouse mascot. Also, a similar story concerning an FBI agent can be found in the archives. Agent Todd Sachs received a phone call from Walt, and within a few days, the man experienced a complete wardrobe change. Colleagues reported him showing up at work in all manner of Disney-themed shirts, ranging from Mickey Mouse to The Little Mermaid. After only 8 weeks, he put in his resignation from the FBI. The former Agent Sachs currently works as a rod operator for Space Mountain for the soulless billion-dollar corporation that is Disney. It should be noted that there is no record of Agent Sachs ever coming into visual contact with Walt's decapitated head. We literally have no idea why Walt targeted this man. But I'm sure at this point you're all noticing a common theme here. It seems that whoever comes into contact with the late Walt Disney will become obsessed with his corporation, and will inevitably leave their lucrative careers in favor of working for Disney, even if that means taking a massive pay cut. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this little educational seminar. And if you have any suggestions or requests for more SCPs that you'd like to learn about, please feel free to leave a suggestion in the comments below. Now, everybody stay safe and healthy. Happy New Year, everybody. Peace to the out.